Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. The Pope is in critical condition. Major moves by the Trump administration, a shakeup at MSNBC, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Pope Francis is in critical condition. The head of the Roman Catholic Church, who turned 88 in December, experienced a prolonged asthmatic crisis on Saturday while being hospitalized by double pneumonia, the Vatican said. Over the weekend, he received high flows of supplemental oxygen, according to the statement, as well as infusions for a platelet deficiency. The Pope was also said to be experiencing early stages of kidney failure, though it was at present under control. The Vatican described Pope Francis as alert and well-oriented on Sunday, noting that he attended Mass in his hospital suite's chapel alongside his medical care team. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed revenge on Hamas after it was discovered that the body in a coffin bearing Shiri Bibas's name and photo was an unidentified woman and not the kidnapped mother of two. On Thursday, Hamas was supposed to deliver the bodies of Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir Bibas and Oded Lifshitz. However, during the identification process, Israel discovered that the body inside Shiri's coffin was not hers. Furthermore, the two children were strangled by hand and then mutilated to cover up the cause of death. These Hamas monsters also cynically refused to bring back the boy's mother Shiri and sent the body of a Gazan woman instead, in brazen violation of the agreement, Netanyahu said in a statement on Friday. IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, citing forensic findings and intelligence, confirmed on Friday that Ariel and Kif Bibas were murdered by terrorists in cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot the two young boys. They killed them with their own hands. Afterwards, they committed horrific acts to cover up these atrocities. Hagari said Hamas is handing over the body of an anonymous woman instead of Shiri Bibas was further evidence of Hamas's barbaric cruelty. The Trump administration and the Ukrainian government were nearing a deal Friday to hand Ukrainian mineral resources over to the United States in exchange for continued security assistance, a person familiar with the negotiations stated, potentially easing President Donald Trump's days of attacks against the embattled country and its leadership. Both Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky said Friday that they were making progress in their discussions after the Ukrainian leader last week initially declined a demand from the Trump administration that he hand over half of Ukraine's mineral resources to the United States. The request shocked the Ukrainians, officials said, because the potential value of the resources far exceeded that of U.S. assistance. The progress being made toward the deal underscored the way in which Trump has quickly reshaped Washington's role in the world by shifting U.S. power towards winning deals from other nations rather than acting to uphold alliances or pushing back on efforts to redraw boundaries by force. Ukraine is still pressing for better terms to the mineral rights deal sought by Trump, while Washington urged Kiev to swiftly accept the proposal. Trump ousted his top military officer, General Charles Q. Brown Jr., chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and 5 other senior Pentagon officials in a long-anticipated Friday night purge. His firings were especially controversial given the nonpartisan role the top military brass has traditionally played. Trump replaced General Brown with Lieutenant General Dan Rosen-Kane, a retired lower-ranking officer who Trump views as a loyalist who will fight against DEI within the department. Hegseth said, under President Trump, we are putting in place new leadership that will focus our military on its core mission of deterring, fighting, and winning wars. This move removes the leadership that was responsible for the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Schools spent hundreds of billions of COVID relief funds on expenses that had little impact on students, such as Las Vegas hotel rooms and the purchase of an ice cream truck, according to the Trump administration's cost-cutting department. The Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk to purge wasteful government spending, revealed on Thursday that schools have spent nearly $200 billion in COVID relief funds with little oversight or impact on students. Granite Public Schools in Utah spent their COVID relief funds on $86,000 in hotel rooms at Caesars Palace, a ritzy Las Vegas casino, while Santa Ana Unified spent $393,000 to rent out a Major League Baseball stadium, according to a report by Parents Defending Education and shared by Doge. The cost-cutting department also revealed that schools spent $60,000 of COVID relief funds on swimming pool passes, while the California district used its funds to purchase an ice cream truck. An email with the subject line, "What did you do last week?" was sent to all federal employees on Saturday. It was Doge's latest move, with Musk posting to X that all government workers had to respond to the email, listing 5 things they accomplished the week prior. Musk noted failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. 3 agencies, the State Department, the FBI, and the Department of Defense, told workers to ignore the email, sowing greater tension between Musk and federal employees and raising questions over Doge's power to follow through on its demands. The United States Department of Education has launched Title IX investigations into Maine's Department of Education and a state school district for allegedly ignoring President Trump's executive order on transgender athletes in girls' and women's sports. Maine joins California and Minnesota as states to be investigated for allegedly continuing to allow biological males to compete against biological females. Today, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights sent a letter to the Maine Department of Education Commissioner Pender Macon announcing that OCR is initiating a directed investigation of the Maine Department of Education amid allegations that it continues to allow male athletes to compete in girls' interscholastic athletics and that it has denied female athletes female-only intimate facilities, thereby violating federal anti-discrimination law, the U.S. DOE said in a press release on Friday. A series of violent confrontations across the United States are believed to be linked to members of a fringe group known as the Zizians and have left at least 6 people dead, including a Border Patrol agent shot in Vermont, a man stabbed in California, and a couple shot in a double homicide in Pennsylvania. 7 people are currently in custody in connection with the sprawling web of crimes, which came further into view this week after 3 people were arrested on trespassing charges in Maryland. Law enforcement and news media reports have connected these individuals to the Zizians, a name for the followers of a person known as Ziz, who blogged about self-improvement ethics and artificial intelligence. The group's goals aren't completely clear, but online writings about their beliefs touch upon veganism, artificial intelligence, and gender identity. The latest arrests in Maryland have brought renewed attention to the rash of cases across state lines, and prosecutors have said they have the group's leader in custody on trespassing and weapon charges. Legal representatives listed in the court records for some of the defendants could not be immediately reached or had no comment. An illegal immigrant and suspected gang member is out on probation, free to roam the streets of Chicago, even though he's been charged with domestic battery, has a previous weapons charge in Cook County, and was ordered deported in 2022. Pedro Colmenares, a 33-year-old suspected Tren de Aragua gang member from Venezuela, entered the U.S. in September 2022 and was ordered deported by an immigration judge in November of that year, according to DHS. While appealing the deportation ruling, he ended up in Chicago. 2 years after the deportation ruling, Colmenares was back on DHS's radar after a weapons charge in the Chicago area last October. DHS issued an ICE detainer on Colmenares, but because of its sanctuary policy, Cook County refused to comply with the detainer, and Colmenares was set free. Apple said on Monday that it will be spending $500 billion over the next 4 years in the United States, and at least part of that money will be dedicated to the construction of new server manufacturing facility slated for Houston, a new supplier academy in Michigan, and additional spending being funneled to current U.S.-based suppliers. Notably, Apple pledged this $500 billion comes only days after Apple CEO Tim Cook met with President Trump in the Oval Office. Meanwhile, Apple pulled UK cloud encryption after government spying demands. Apple will no longer offer advanced data protection, its end-to-end encrypted iCloud storage feature, to users in the United Kingdom. The tech giant's decision to pull the feature comes after it reportedly received a secret government request from the UK government for backdoor entry into all customer data stored that way, which would have given British law enforcement access to information from users around the world. MSNBC is canceling Joy Reid's program, The Readout, as part of a major network shakeup. Reid's 7 p.m. Eastern Time program will be replaced by a panel show featuring Simone Sanders Townsend, a former spokesperson to Vice President Kamala Harris, Alicia Menendez, and RNC chair turned MSNBC host Michael Steele, according to a source familiar with the plans. Reid will host the final Readout this week. Shows in primetime, dayside, and the weekends will all be impacted from the changes, with some notable cancellations, elevations, and new additions expected. The moves will be an opening salvo from Rebecca Cutler, who was named MSNBC's president earlier this month. Jen Psaki is expected to secure additional hours during the week. The former White House press secretary currently hosts Inside with Jen Psaki on Mondays at 8. Rachel Maddow is currently hosting her show at 9 every day, but is expected to return to her one-day-per-week schedule in April. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.